Hello, my name is Mark Love. Welcome to Viking.TV, and on this episode, we thought that we would take you on a tour of a Viking ocean ship to see what it's like as a regular guest that comes on board for the first time, or as a returning guest for that matter, and see what it's like to be on the oceans rather than on the rivers. My background, my wife and I were both high school teachers. My wife taught health and physical education, and I taught economics and world history, which is in part where I got my love for travel. We love to travel with Viking because we see the world in comfort, and you don't get any more comfortable than on a Viking ship. We were first introduced to Viking when a couple of friends of ours asked us shortly after we retired, we would like for you to plan some vacation where we do something very unique and very interesting. And when I got out of college, I'd seen a picture in a magazine of a castle up on a hill, and I thought one day I would like to be on a river cruise and see that castle. Well, fast forward 35 years later, I contacted Viking about going on a river cruise with them, and we were just hooked forever because the Viking experience is just something that is just so remarkable, whether you're on the oceans, the rivers, or the expeditions. So let's check out the ship. So here we are in the Atrium, and one of the first things I want to point out about the Atrium is there's ever-changing artwork up here. Most people miss this. It changes frequently. Different pieces of art from famous painters and so on. It's very fascinating. And there's even a grand piano down here where they play music in the evening as you're having your cocktail before dinner. A little bit about a Viking Oceans vessel. It's only about 800 feet long. There are only 7 decks from top to bottom. And one of the best things is, no matter where you are on the ship, you're minutes away from your stateroom. It's also very nice that the passenger capacity is only 900. So unlike the big ocean ships, you never feel like you're in this massive crowd where you can't find anywhere to be by yourself and you're always being herded along. So many quiet spaces where you can sit and read a book or just enjoy seeing the world go by. And in fact, when you first meet the Viking staff, one of the things that they'll tell you is that they don't think of you as passengers or even guests, as they think of you as fellow explorers. Because what you're trying to do on a Viking expedition, whether it's on an ocean vessel, a river ship, or the expedition, is you're going to explore the world in comfort. And that's one of the best things we like about Vikings, because you get to see all the different cultures of the world, the different peoples of the world. It's just a fun way to do it. So let's go to guest services and get our key to check into our room. Here we are at guest services, and this is typically where you check in, you get your room assignment, and you get your key card, which is your pass to everything that you do on the ship, both checking on and checking off the ship. You put your credit card on here, and anything that needs to be done to get around the ship comes with the key card. However, on the Viking Oceans, one thing that's different from the rivers is you actually can check in online ahead of time with what's called the comfort check-in. You put all your information on there, you put your credit card on there, you can even upload a picture of yourself so that when you get to the ship and you go to check in, it's so smooth and so seamless it takes next to no time. You just give them their name, they check you off, give you your card, and away you go. And then you're ready to get on the ship. Now, one of the coolest things about Viking Oceans are the excursions. All Viking adventures come with an included excursion that's part of the price package. However, on Viking Oceans, to get the full experience, you need to do the optional excursions. They are so worth the trip when you do the excursions that way. Here is the excursion area, and this is where you book your excursions if you can't get them online. Oftentimes you'll find that they are sold out or the times don't match up, so you can wait until you get on board and you can get either on a wait list or sometimes the openings are still there. So here we are on deck 3 of the Viking Neptune, and we're going to go into our stateroom. Your key card, obviously, is your key into the room. Just a tap, and you get to come on inside. So here we are in our Viking stateroom. Bathrooms here, double sink, luxurious bed. You can have the bed separated so that it's 2 singles, or you can have them pushed together so it's a queen size. And trust me, we've been on a lot of trips, 17 with Viking so far. Very comfortable beds, always sleep well. You have a flat screen TV with all kinds of options on it. You have a desk for your writing. You have comfortable chairs. The higher up you go on the ship, the bigger the room becomes. And one of the advantages of being higher up, which of course comes with a little bit more of a price increase, is you get to book your excursions earlier and you get to make your restaurant reservations earlier. But the one thing that separates Viking Oceans from every other ocean vessel that you can sail on, and that is that everybody, and I mean everybody, gets a veranda. No inside rooms where you're looking at 4 blank walls. So check out the veranda. So here we are on the veranda. As you can see, there's a private balcony. But one thing that's nice is if you're traveling with friends, Viking can open these up so that you can just walk back and forth. And it's just so nice to be out here on the veranda with the furniture and your own table and just be able to come out here and watch the world go by. This is how I start every single morning when we're cruising. Just come out to the balcony and check out what part of the world are we in. It's just the best way to see the world. On your flat screen TV, you get all kinds of options, movies, TV series, live TV, and there's even a Viking.TV channel where you can see celebrities talking about their trips on Viking. Some really cool adventures there. So here's the bathroom. Right in here, you get a nice sized shower, you get a double sink. Here's a coffee bar, where if you want to make your own coffee in the morning. And then there's so much storage. The safe that comes in every room, and then drawers, more drawers, hair dryer for the ladies, more drawers, and then you get a nice roomy closet, more drawers, slippers, an umbrella, and for lounging around in the mornings, a nice comfortable robe. Plenty of storage room, and you can always ask for more hangers if you need them. So now we're going up to the World Cafe, because typically when you check into your room, your luggage isn't available. So this is a good place to start. Here in the World Cafe, there's all kinds of selections of food and drinks and desserts that are up here. You get the panoramic views no matter where you're sitting. And the World Cafe is actually on both sides. And here's something that most people do not know. The menu in the World Cafe, it's the same as you get in the dining room. So if you don't like the formal dining, you can have the same meal up here and you can control your portion size, bigger or smaller. But one of the best places to eat here in the World Cafe is on the Aquavit Terrace. Let's go check that out. So here we are on the Aquavit Terrace where you can dine al fresco. And you can see that the whirlpool is here. There's an infinity pool there. You swim right up to the edge on the back of the ship. And you just get a panoramic view of the world as you're out here having your meal. It's just gorgeous. Watch the world sail on by. So right outside the World Cafe is the pool bar and grill, and most people don't know about this, but this has the best burgers in the world, the Viking burger, and their hot dogs are delicious. You get all the condiments, you can get bacon and fries, and for those that are more health conscious, like my wife, you can do your own salad. Build your own salad. My wife likes to build her salad, and she'll order the Viking burger without the bun and put it on top. Everything you would like, all with the panoramic views and your poolside at the same time. So we're right outside the pool, and this is the winter garden. And every afternoon, they have English tea and all kinds of cakes. It's very peaceful, very quiet. We're on deck 8. This is the sun deck. And one of the things that you can see from up here is the outdoor pool. It's a huge pool. And one of the cool things about the way that the pool is set up is regardless of the climate, the time of the year, you can enjoy the pool because there's a retractable roof that can cover it. So that in inclement weather or even when it's cold, you can spend time at the pool. It's just a great way to spend the afternoon. So one of the advantages of being out here on the sun deck is you get a good view of the infinity pool where you can swim right up to the edge and just watch the world go by. So here we are on deck 8. This is the sports deck. Those of you that are more active, one of the things that you can play, again with the panoramic views, play shuffleboard right here. Over here we have lawn bowling. And then I see my wife ready to challenge me in a game of ping pong or table tennis. So here we are in the Explorer's Lounge, and it's a 2-level lounge. It's on deck 8, which is where we are now, and then there's one down on deck 7. This is our favorite place to come for before dinner drinks. On the river cruises, there's a port talk that is held in the lounge where you find out about what's going to be happening the next day, and that's a real social hour. Here on the Viking Oceans, the port talks are done in the auditorium, but they are on videotape so you can see them at your leisure. So what we like to do is come up here, get the panoramic view while we're having our pre-dinner drink. My favorite is a frozen mudslide, and we get to enjoy some social time before we go on down to dinner. Now we're heading downstairs, but one of the things I wanted to point out is on all of the landings between the decks, there are these original tapestries that portray Viking heritage. They're very interesting, and they have even little markers over here where you can listen to the story on headsets. It's very interesting. One of the greatest things about Viking trips is that you meet so many interesting people. And the best thing about Viking is the staff. The Viking staff is just extraordinary, to the point that on almost every cruise, we become good friends, very close with some of the staff members, some of which, like Sophia and Petra, are friends of ours to this day. So let's keep going downstairs. As we continue downstairs, one of the new things on display on the Viking Oceans are these traditional Viking dresses called bunas. And these are outfits worn by both men and women, and you often will see them if you watch the videos of the christening and the launching of the ocean ships. Now we're on deck 2, and we're about to enter into the restaurant, where most people have their evening meals, sometimes lunch and breakfast, but almost always their evening meal. The great thing about Viking cruising is that everybody on board is so like you, fellow travelers and explorers, and you meet friends for life. Currently, we travel with at least half a dozen different couples that are best friends that we met all of them on Viking cruises. And the cool thing about the Viking Oceans is that it's a huge dining room, but the way that it's set up, it's divided into smaller areas. So a divider down the middle, and then each separate area so that there's a small number of tables. So you still get that intimate feeling, so you can make friends and share stories of what Viking cruises you've been on in the past. And everybody always talks about how many Viking cruises they have planned in the future. We have 6 on the books for down the line for us. So here we're mid-deck on deck 2. This is Torshov, which is a very quiet, intimate lounge where you can come after dinner. And as you can see, a bar area, plenty of comfortable seating, and then live music plays at night for your entertainment. A lot of people like to unwind here each day, and another place to share your stories and make new friends. We're on deck 2, and this is the Star Theater. Every night, there are some form of entertainment. Most afternoons, this is where they hold the port talks. But what I know the Star Theater most for is this is the place that you typically will come with your tickets to check in for your excursions each day. So an interesting aspect here on deck 2 is the Viking Heritage, because it's not Viking just in name. They follow a lot of the Viking traditions. We've already looked at the tapestries in between the different deck levels, but here is a display with all kinds of historical things about the ancient Vikings. And these are things which are very interesting to someone like me, who is a world history teacher. So here we're on deck 1, and there are 2 specialty restaurants on the Viking Oceans. This one is the chef's table. One of the great things about Viking dining, most big ocean ships have specialty restaurants. But on every other cruise line, specialty restaurants require not only a reservation, but it comes at an extra charge. Here at Viking, all you have to do is make a reservation. The chef's table typically has a fixed menu for several days in a row, but what's really unique and one thing that we really enjoyed is that each individual course comes with its own special wine pairing. And those wines are so delicious. And I can tell you for a fact that the one time we came in here and I looked at the menu and I told my wife, I'm like, I'm not going to like any of this. None of this looks good to me. And yet every course and every wine was just absolutely fabulous, was just great. That's a good alternative to the main restaurant. But the best restaurant on board is the other specialty restaurant, Freddys. Let's check that out. This is the other specialty restaurant, and this is Freddys. This is by far our most favorite place to have dinner. And every couple that we've brought here, it's been their favorite place. It's an Italian theme, and they have the best pasta made fresh that day. They are also well known for their steaks, which are just to die for. And their desserts are amazing, especially the pistachio cake when you can get that. But everything about Freddys, just our very favorite place to have dinner. And you can see there's plenty of room. And like the chef's table, all that's required is a reservation, no extra charge. Here on the first deck, this is the exercise room for those of you that like to get your physical fitness in on a daily basis. And it's a huge exercise facility. A lot of people do this every single day, like my wife. And they have all kinds of machines for you to work out on. So you can leave the gym after your workout, and then right next door is the Nordic Spa. The Nordic Spa is a great facility. It has the steam, it has a pool, it has a whirlpool. But what no one else has, it has a snow grotto. Yes, snow grotto. Snow all over the place. Snow falls down on your head. And if you're really up for the cold challenge, there's an ice bucket where you can stand underneath of it, pull the chain, ice cold water, and then you jump right in the heated pool. Very invigorating, very Norwegian. So we end our tour of the Viking Ocean's Neptune here in the living room, another one of the very comfortable and quiet spots where you can relax and hang out. I hope you've enjoyed the tour as much as I've enjoyed giving it to you, but I want to leave you with a couple last tips. First of all, when you travel with Viking, you are best to not only book your air through Viking because you get a substantial discount, but I would encourage you to pay for what's called their Air Plus program. It's only between $50 and $150, and what that allows you to do is, as it gets close to booking your air, you get to pick the itinerary that best suits you, the number of stops you want, how long you want for a layover, and once you leave on the day of your departure, Viking is with you every step of the way with a toll-free number that can help you if you run into any travel issues. So it's been great filming this experience. I want to thank the Viking.TV people, and I hope to see you on a future cruise. We've got 6 more planned. Nothing like traveling with Viking where you can see the world in comfort. Thanks for watching.